Hi there. Popping in right before the main event story to give you a lead-in, a story about the story, maybe. Or maybe it's just about my creative process. This particular story seems like if I was going to describe my creative process to you, that this would be just another way of doing it. I film my stories intuitively. That's what I pick up the camera and just film what catches my eye. And then I put them all in a timeline in iMovie, and when I watch it, a story always emerges. And sometimes, now that as I've had a couple of years of practice, and I can see storylines developing, as I really don't try to go too far down. I guess I get to a certain point, it's like, well, if something else turns up that is going to support the storyline, then, and I happen to have my camera on, then fine. What I don't do is regret missing a shot. That is, there are so many miracles happening in my life, always have, and now it seems to be speeding up, that I don't have time for thinking I'm going to miss a shot. So it's just a very, very satisfying creatively to share these stories with you. This story, The Enchanted Forest, is of special note. It started just seeing a sign on the highway, was memories of my childhood and how my mother really, really, really did take great joy in the magical aspect of childhood. We always had birthday parties, and we always had a little swimming pool, and all the kids in the neighborhood would come and swim, and we would she would take us to theme parks, but the theme parks were one theme park we went to accepted report cards, and you got a ticket for every grade that you got on your report card to ride the rides. And the theme park was basically just a corner of a parking lot in a city, really. And so through a child's eyes, though, the rides were amazing, that we could take our report cards there and get a reward for them and get to go on rides for them. That was really great. The real magical part of it that I remember, though, was the Enchanted Forest. And so I went there with my friend Terry, and we decided beforehand that we were going to attempt to see this entire adventure through 10-year-old eyes. So you're going to see a lot of silliness, and that is us really trying to inhabit a 10-year-old. And as I'm editing, I'm trying to come with it as that same I guess mindset, that same stage of my life, where I was beginning to think a little bit more about concepts of things, and it was still magical. I can even remember the moment, or not the moment, but maybe the time, and I'm going to say it was when I was around 10 or 11, where I could feel, how can I explain this? I used to take like a top of a box, like you would get a shirt for Christmas, and I would draw rooms in it, and I would put like spools in it, and I probably use those little Fisher Price people as the people. I distinctly remember, though, being in that box, being part of that. I was there. I wasn't a child moving the parts around. And I do remember that fading away. And part of reconnecting with this Enchanted Forest really piqued being able to maybe tap back into where that part is in my life right now. That magical part, that magical, like really, really being able to be in it. Instead of always having this little voice saying you need to be responsible. You're going to get hurt. Don't risk it. I'm afraid for you. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I do. You know, when those things start coming up, that is when, as I'm thinking about it right this moment, that it was kind of like, okay, I gotta grow up. And so with that little intro, I'm going to tell you there are 3 seeds to this that are germinating. Number 1 is the magical aspect, and how really my mom really tried to help that. And to that end, I want to thank my siblings for letting me use home movie footage that has been gone from film to a VHS tape to maybe a DVD, I don't know, and now digitized. So the quality degrades every time. I just want to give you that heads up. I'm counting on, because you're kindred spirits, that you can follow along with me, because this is, I think, important stuff. And I'm going to try to make it easy and enjoyable to follow, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about it, your stories that it brings up for you. And so now I'm going to, with great honor and love in my heart, I want to introduce you to Terry.
To all the 10-year-olds in the world, welcome to the Enchanted Forest. We're very excited. We're really going back into time, into our 10-year-old selves, and we're going to experience this in a very magical way.
That guy will move if you wait.
No way. What guy?
The guy holding up the blanket.
So the second seed I'm going to sow is about the nursery rhymes themselves. I guess since I was so tied into the magical aspect of being alive, I think I was just born that way. I think that I didn't not know that there was shadow sides to things. It's more like there's so much good happening over here that, it didn't need my attention. And in looking and going deep into this story, I realized that if a child is really sensitive, these nursery rhymes are quite brutal.
And she's trying to just be nice.
Right. Yep. Yep.
And yet, look who's there. Oh my gosh. But Grandma, what big eyes you have. Better to see you with, my dear. Grandma, what big teeth you have. The better to eat you with, my dear. Yikes!
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. The third seed I'm going to plant in this story has got to do about my desire for us to tell our story, find new words, cultivate new stories, expand the ways we've always taught each other, expand the ways we've always learned, expand the roles that we inhabit. And I know that's pretty bold, pretty big, but that came up too.
Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. She doesn't look so well. He might be happy, but she doesn't look How the hell do I get out of this pumpkin?
Yeah, like, wow, I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy the beauty out here.
There's a lock there. You see
Oh my gosh, I do.
So, but I bet she could get through there if she tried to get out.
Well, I would say that's a metaphor of what we've all been trying to do.
Okay.
Acceptance.
And couldn't keep her.
Acceptance.
So
Wow.
he put her in a pumpkin shell. Tried to imprison her, but he kept her. And he seems pretty smug about it.
I wonder how many pumpkins he had going on.
doing works for everyone. This, especially in my family. Dad jokes, big thing. This is mine.